Hey, thanks for checking out my video. This is going to be a 3.22 patch notes review video for Frostblades mainly. If you don't want to watch the rest, they basically change nothing. So the build is going to be exactly the same unless they nerf drop rates for Heat Shiver or Yoke or anything like that. The only thing that's going to be different is you're not going to have your Crucible mods. And you're going to get the Trials tattoos and whatever power comes along with those. They haven't released them all, so it's kind of unclear, but it definitely probably will not be as strong as the Crucible mods were. So if you take away all the Crucible mods from the weapon from the build last league, it's about 18% less damage. You can see here. If you just remove all those mods, that's 18% less damage, and then about another 5% less from losing the shield. I very seriously doubt the tattoos are going to make up this much power, so the build's probably going to feel more like it did in Sanctum League, which is going to be about 25 or 30% less damage than it had in Crucible League. And then you're also going to lose the shock immunity or any other utility that you got from your shield, which was like endurance charges. You might have to get those from a lethal bride now, or maybe from a chest implicit if you want endurance charges. So yeah, the build's going to be exactly the same. It's just going to be a little bit less damage, which is fine at late game because the build had too much damage anyway. But yeah, for the most part, it should be exactly the same. Vengeance Cascade is gone. I didn't use it, so I don't really care about that. So looking through these patch notes, they're putting back Sanctum. They're adding a bunch of new support gems. None of them are going to be better than what Frostblades uses now. The return projectiles one is the only one that might be worth experimenting with, but I don't know if I will. This one here. We'll see what the scaling on it is. Might be worth checking out, but we'll see. Rest of the stuff doesn't really matter. Sanctum's back. Um, Bunch of new Atlas stuff. I'm not really going to talk much about that. You guys can decide what you want to farm in the Atlas this league. The rest of the stuff is pretty cool, I guess. Some league mechanic changes. Guardian changes seem bad. Chieftain changes seem extremely bad. I don't know what they were thinking with this Chieftain rework, but it looks absolutely horrible to me. Uh, we'll see. And then Ascendant, they just changed that to make up, align with the new changes there. Aki, they fixed a freeze bug. They added a couple new dot multi or faster ailment passive tree clusters. So I think maybe bleed might feel a little better this league because of all this extra like faster ailment damage here. And then the new support gem Sadist might make bleed a little better. We'll see. I might play a bleed build this league. I haven't played a bleed build in a long time, so might give that a shot. Timeless Jewels or Legion emblems got nerfed like pretty bad, so I think Timeless Jewels might be like super expensive if no one's doing that this league. Uh, but we'll see. They basically did no skill balance whatsoever. I was really hoping that they would do a lot more than this, but they basically changed nothing. Uniques, they changed nothing. Items, they changed basically nothing, and then they did a entire wall of Ruthless changes. So I actually am kind of shocked by this. Like, what is this? And this is almost all nerfs too. I read through a lot of this. It's like they basically like made all the ascendancies way worse for Ruthless, which is crazy because Ruthless already sucks. And like I'm not playing Ruthless, so I don't care about this. And like, why is half the patch notes Ruthless changes? Like that's ridiculous. And then a little monster balance here. You can stun stuff now, which that'll feel good, especially for betrayal. But you probably still can't freeze betrayal. It doesn't say anything about freeze, so that sucks. And then let's see what else matters here. This one is kind of good for like certain like immunity phases, I guess, where stuff regens. Essence for 2C is insane. I'm probably gonna be doing that the whole league. We'll see. I don't really like a lot of these other ones, especially ritual. Quest rewards, who cares? UI stuff. I guess the new Chaos Orb, like currency thing in the trade window is pretty good. Um, this is all rest like UI, like filter, coding stuff, bug fixes, and that's it. So yeah, the patch notes is like basically nothing. I was shocked that there was this little to the patch notes. Uh, so I'm very disappointed. I thought the meta would be shaken up and with by actual balance changes. I was hoping that they would like nerf Bone Shatter, Righteous Fire, Tornado Shot, or like at least some of the stuff people don't play. Like give it some buffs because the meta is going to be exactly the same as it was last league. Support gems might change things up. People might experiment and find something good, but I don't know. Like skills with bad mechanics need to be buffed. Like for example, Bone Shatter. Like people play Bone Shatter instead of Heavy Strike because it has AoE shockwaves and it has stacking damage like the Heavy Strike doesn't have. So like Bone Shatter is just such a superior mechanical skill than Heavy Strike that no one's ever going to play Heavy Strike instead of Bone Shatter unless Heavy Strike just does way more damage, but it doesn't because they haven't buffed it. They need to do this, and people will play it if they buff stuff like that people don't play because it's inferior mechanically. They will play it. But they're not doing that, so people are just going to play the same shit. People are going to play Bone Shatter, TS, Righteous Fire. Like the meta is not going to change at all. The league mechanic, I've never played an auto battler. It doesn't really look like my kind of thing. We'll see. I'm kind of worried that I'm going to hate it. Hopefully I'm wrong and it's really fun, but we'll see. I really want to see more like in-map combat mechanics. This is what I like to do: is just run maps, juice maps, kill mobs, get loot. Right? That's what PoE is: kill mobs, get loot. But we've had the last few leagues, Crucible sucked because the mobsters didn't drop any loot. You had to stand there forever. Sanctum was an out of map mechanic that I didn't really like after doing it for 3 weeks. Calandra sucked. It was out of map mechanic. Sentinel was awesome. In map combat mechanic, rewarding, had a good crafting mechanic with recombinators. Arch Nemesis was in map mechanic, but it really didn't change the maps very much. It just made the rares bad. Scourge was an awesome in-map combat mechanic. Expedition was pretty good in-map combat mechanic. Ultimatum was the best ever in-map combat mechanic. So like I want to see more in-map combat mechanics like this, where you kill mobs, get loot, not this like out-of-map mechanic crap that's like takes you out of the map. Your maps just feel like standard. So like Sanctum, you had to run 32 maps to do a complete Sanctum, which is like insane. So like you're doing 32 maps on standard, and then you run your Sanctum, and which takes like 10 minutes. And then Crucible felt like standard too because the Crucible sucked and like it wasn't even really worth doing. And now we have another league with an out of map combat mechanic. So the maps are just gonna feel like standard again. Uh, Hopefully this mechanic is just super fun, but I don't know. We'll see. That's about it. I decided I wasn't sure if I was gonna start Frostblades depending on the patch notes, but since they didn't change anything, I guess I will. None of the other league starters really look that fun to me, so I'll just play Frostblades again. I'll probably put up a like early leveling guide for like Act 1, Act 2, Act 3. Talk about like how you can get through that part because that's the hardest part of Frostblades is getting through like Act 3 basically. After Act 3, Act 4, like once you get a 4 link, once you get your Trinity like Wrath running, then you're just zooming after that. And then I might do a full another. I posted a full, well not a full, but I posted a Katava video the other day. I did it 4:30, which is pretty fast. I might do another full playthrough if I have time this weekend sometime and post that, but we'll see. Yeah, that's about it. Thanks for watching, guys. Stay tuned. I'm going to put up more stuff. Subscribe to my channel. Give me a like on the video. Put up more Frostbite's content this league. Probably do some update videos like I did last league. Yeah, that's about it. For the most part, build's pretty much the same. It's going to be good. It's going to be strong. Yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching, guys. Good luck in the new league. See you next time.